Hello and welcome to the NFL Picks video for Week 11, brought to you by Pool Genius. My name is Stephen Andress, joined each and every week by the lead analyst over at Pool Genius, Jason Lisk. In this episode, we'll go through our favorite spread picks of the week, potential leverage spots where we think there's value picking the side that the public is not picking, and Jason and I will close out the show with a couple of teaser legs that we like for this week as well. Jason, hello, sir. Good to be with you on this show.
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us for joining us on the picks segment. We're gonna start off as we do with some of our value picks from our pick and pool data. For those that use our football pool picks, we get data on how people are picking in these pools, both game winner and spread pools. We're gonna talk game winner here, as we do in a lot of weeks, and we're looking for spots where the public is heavier on a team than maybe they should be, where you get some leverage. So I'm going to start. We got three for you this week to start off the week. I'm going to start with a couple dogs, and I'm going to start with the game between Jacksonville and the Chargers. Now, as you might guess, the Chargers come off a good win. They're against the Steelers. They're quite popular. Jacksonville blew that lead. So Jacksonville's a 3-point home dog, but only 20% of the public is picking Jacksonville, whereas their win odds are closer to 41% as a field goal dog. So when we look at the underdogs this week, that's one of the better spots, a team with decent win odds. What say you, Steven? How do you like that game? Do you like Jacksonville as a leverage play there? Do you think their chances are good enough that you might consider them, knowing that 4 out of every 5 picks would be against you?
I mean, in a vacuum, when you're going to give me a team with about 40% win probability and only 20% of the pool's picking it, that's a instant leverage spot that I'm going to look to there. The Chargers overcame their offensive line issues last week by just getting rid of the ball really fast. I wonder if putting that game on tape now allows the Jags to adjust to that game plan. This was still a Chargers offense in the month that they didn't have Joe Alt before that was bottom 7 in EPA per play, despite playing some pretty gettable defenses in that stretch. So I don't mind it one bit. I like the look for you. Kind of a similar situation here with our number 2 pick, Jason, and it's an NFC West divisional game, but not the one everybody's excited to watch. It's the other ones. The Arizona Cardinals taking on the San Francisco 49ers, my Niners, and I actually agree with the leverage spot here, possibly taking the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Pool Genius data says about 22% popularity in straight up pick 'em pools for the Cardinals this week, despite this only being about a 2.5-point spread. I think the Niners could increase in popularity as the week goes on. It looks like Ricky Pearsall is going to come back, or at least this is by far the most likely chance he's had to come back. He's further along. We'll see about Brock Purdy. I mean, anybody guessing whether or not Purdy's going to play or not is it's a fool's errand at this point. We'll know when we know with Kyle Shanahan. But even if it's Purdy's first game back with all the injuries that the Niners have had on defense, Arizona could be a leverage play here as well. I will just note that the Cardinals now have also suffered a long list of injuries on their defense, like the Niners had in previous weeks as well. So that would be my only cause for concern with the Cardinals. But again, 22% pick popularity, 43% win probability based on the Pool Genius odds here, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things, we saw Arizona. I think overall Brissett's played better.
Agreed.
And last week, he had the 2 strip sack fumbles that turned the game. I mean, but when you get a game like that, it makes the game look worse than it is when you have two fumble returns by DeMarcus Lawrence in the same game.
And I don't think it's fair to judge Brissett based on a game against Seattle when this is a huge step down in defensive talent now this week.
Yeah, for sure. And he's shown that he can. I mean, he picked apart Dallas. I think this is a spot where this San Francisco team, this is kind of a make or break spot for Arizona season too, right? Like if they don't win this game, they're pretty much done as far as like any hope. I don't think they have much to begin with, but you can pretty much, they're done if they do not win this game at home.
And as a Niners fan, I will admit that the Niners should have lost that first game against the Cardinals as well. So
yeah. So
how about number 1 here?
Yeah, number 1, we've got my team, Kansas City Chiefs, traveling to Denver. Now, I know if you look at other people's power ratings, some, major networks, maybe some sites, you might say, why is a team like the number 13, number 12 Chiefs favored at Denver, who's 8-2? But that's the people that don't, I guess, watch the Bo Nix experience and haven't seen what these teams have done. Yeah, Kansas City's power rated higher. Kansas City is a 4-point road favorite. This was like a 3 in early look aheads, and it even moved up another point after the Thursday game. Because you also have the Chiefs coming off the bye, so you get that factor. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm comfortable. Denver as a home dog is probably a little dangerous because that defense is so good, but the Chiefs are a favorite for a reason. And yet we're seeing 61% on the Chiefs, which may not sound like, may not sound like a huge value because more than half the pool's picking them. But every other field goal type favorite, 4-point favorite, that range is drawing closer to 80% picks. So you're basically getting a lot of your pool. The team they're settling on to pick against, if they're going to pick an upset, is Denver against the Chiefs. More likely than, any of these other games in a similar range. So I think as a leverage play, just pick your upset somewhere else and go against that headwind and take the Chiefs as the road favorite.
If any of you watching have not seen the Bo Nix experience, let me just give you the cliff notes. It's bad. It's bad. It is not good, man. I mean, he is single-handedly keeping teams in these games against the Broncos, despite the Broncos having elite defensive performances. To your point, Jason, the fact that this moved off the key number of 3 and then moved further off the key number of 3 to 4 in a lot of spots is significant to me, that the market feels that much about Kansas City in a road spot here against Denver. We record this on Tuesday afternoon. Also have to keep an eye out for the defending defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain. He's not on IR. We'll see if he plays in this game or not. So that's just one more factor to keep in mind. I think Jason would agree. We feel a lot better about Kansas City as well if Surtain's not going to play for Denver.
Yeah, I think this. This Kansas City offense is rolling. This Denver defense is going to be a challenge, obviously. But this is also not going to be a 10-7 game. Denver is not winning the way they won against the Jets, the way they won against the Raiders, the way they've won a lot of these games against inferior competition. They're going to have to put up 20+. They may be able to hold it closer to there, but Bo Nix, man. I'm watching those games and I'm just set your feet. There was one, I swear his back foot went over his front or something weird. I'm just he does some weird, his footwork is terrible. I don't know.
Feet are throwing left-handed.
Yeah. It's wow. Yeah, it's been baffling. He's regressed. I think he showed signs at the end of last year of maybe playing better over the second half, but yeah. Well, the good news for Denver fans is a third of the quarterbacks in the league are older than him. So you're good. You've got he's still in his prime.
Yeah. Also reinforcements coming in for Kansas City on the offensive line after Josh Simmons has been away with a personal issue for about a month. Looks like he should be back for this game. And he was pretty good the first month of the season as a first-round rookie at that tackle position. So another big boost to the Chiefs' offensive line if he can come back. Let's move on here, Jason, to our favorite spread picks of the week. I'll lead this one off. I was going to go Lions, but there was a little bit of market support for the Eagles to start the week. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything with the Lions injury report before recording on Tuesday. Injury report comes out on Wednesday. So I pivoted off of the Lions. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a 5.5-point dog against the Buffalo Bills, and only 38% projected pick popularity for the Bucs in this game to cover the 5.5. Those projections, of course, from Pool Genius. And I think it's just a good matchup for the Bucs. It's a buy low spot. Pools traditionally will have recency bias from week to week when it comes to popularity. So the fact that I'm getting the Bucs off of a loss here, obviously the Bills came off a loss too, but I think there's just generally higher market sentiment, public sentiment with the Buffalo Bills to go back to them, especially at home as a big favorite. Pools, again, typically will pick the bigger favorite like this when it was a -5.5 next to their name. The matchup is what I like, though. The Bucks have a very good, if not the best, rushing defense in the NFL, and we know the Bills want to be run heavy. Everything in their offense starts with the run, but the Bucks are top 5 in rush D by EPA. They are the number 1 offense in rush defense by success rate. For those of you that don't know what success rate is, it means down to down, are they getting stops with the run? So on first down, are they preventing 50% of the yards required for a first down? On second down, are they preventing 75% of the yards to gain for a first down? And then on third and fourth down, are they stopping the other team from getting a first down? Essentially is what success rate is. So the Bucks are elite in that area. I like the matchup. I think there's enough here for the Bucks in the middle of the field where the Bills are the weakest, with working Egbuka all over the formation, and Cade Otton was heavily targeted as a tight end, despite the other wide receiver injuries for Tampa Bay here. And I like Baker Mayfield. So I'll go Tampa Bay here +5.5. Where are you looking for your favorite spread pick, Jason?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game of survivor importance, but also a number at about 5.5. So we're over both 3 and 4. And we saw this game on a Thursday night turn into a massive shootout. Neither team could stop either. Joe Flacco lit up the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers brought him back, but then the Steelers still couldn't get a stop. This Pittsburgh team, I know that Tomlin has his voodoo magic, which explains why their point differential, because here's a stat for you. The Steelers are bottom 5 in both yards gained and yards allowed. And the fact that they're only like a -8 is a testament to that. The fact they lead the league in fumble recoveries on defense. Okay. And this is one of the things that I think, like, there's regression potential on a lot of this stuff because their points are not matching up with how their games are playing out. They are getting, they don't look good, basically. And so I like getting 5.5 against a team that doesn't look good, that's laying the points. The Steelers team is a little scarier when they're actually like the home dog, like they were against Colts, when that voodoo magic comes out. But I like I like the Bengals still being able to move the ball similar to the last game and catching 5.5. You're basically getting close game outcomes. So I like getting it where you can get any of those close game numbers.
Yeah, asking a team that's negative EPA on offense and defense to win by 6 or more points is asking a lot, right? And you and I both know the Bengals have a bad defense. We understand that, but this is just a team that's overrated in the market. I agree with you. It would be Bengals or nothing for me. And especially in a pool context where the public is more likely to take a favorite in most cases, especially a bigger favorite like this that's well past the field goal. I think the Bengals are a good process pick here for sure. Good game theory pick for sure. I'm with you there on Cincinnati. Let's close up the show here, Jason, with a couple of teaser legs here. For me, I typically like to look at the Wong teaser. It's named after Stanford Wong, the guy that figured out that if you tease through the key numbers of 7 and 3, then it's usually plus EV. Now, that was when you were getting -110 on teasers. There's only one domestic book that's still offering -120 on teasers. That's Bet365. So just keep that in mind. And there's only one offshore that offers -120 on teasers. I won't mention it because YouTube might give us a community strike if I do that. But the point is, just make sure that you are not paying more than -120 on a 2-team 6-point teaser. That's my best advice generally here. Jason, you go ahead and lead off here with your teaser pick of the week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I mean, you talked about line movement, but I'm not really. I like Detroit if I can get them to 8.5. If I basically like it right now, it's sitting just under a field goal, so you can push it through the key number of 3 and grab 7 and 8. So I like adding Detroit at 8.5 while that number's sitting there. I won't feel bad if it goes to 3 and I grabbed it, and I will feel great if it goes even below that and you lose 7.5 or something like that. So I like getting Detroit as my teaser leg.
Yeah, the other side of that good process is not just teasing through 3 and 7, but doing it in games with low totals, right? Because theoretically, the points you're buying are more valuable in a game that's projected to have lower scoring. So this kind of fits that. The total starts with a 4. And just from a handicapping perspective, Jason, I agree with you. I still might bet the Lions straight up this week, but certainly will use them in a teaser if I don't, because I just think the Eagles are still overrated in the market, man. I mean, they had a bye week to figure things out on offense and still could not generate anything explosive until the very end there on Monday night against the Packers. This is a team that is top 10 by EPA offensively, but is 20th by success rate. And typically that means you're getting some positive variance here, right? Like if you're not moving the ball consistently down to down, then chances are you're vulnerable. So until the Eagles show me consistently, Jason, they can fix that, they are a red flag team for me. In the
Will this be the week, Stephen? Will this be the week that they actually call a false start on the push when they jump?
I know as a
Chiefs. Was it last week? My gosh, what are they watching?
I don't know, man.
Good
it's
grief.
3-4 times so far this year.
Oh, well, more than that. But last week's, the one against the Packers was pretty blatant, like more so than normal. Like normally it's like they're timing it pretty well. Their heads are just moving across the front of the ball as the ball starts to move. It's
so like listen,
three of them were well over the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped.
We're going a little sports talk radio here, but I'll just give my quick 2 cents. Like I think the Eagles have a legitimate advantage with that play, and there's only been like 2 or 3 other teams that can replicate it. And good on them for taking advantage of something. But I can also say that I understand politics and dynamics of owners voting on these things. And the new argument will now be, after it barely passed keeping it last for this year, the new argument will be it can't be properly officiated because they keep missing all these false starts. And then there was also a play where Jalen Hurts reached for a first down like it was the goal line and the ball got knocked out, but it got whistled early when it should have been a fumble recovered by the other team and taken for a touchdown. So again, that can't happen. And if it's too hard to be officiated, then you're going to sway more owners to possibly get rid of it. So that's my prediction. This is the last year of the tush push, even though I do think it's a fair advantage if it's officiated properly, which it hasn't been in some spots.
Yeah, sorry I derailed your teaser pick, but the people need your teaser pick.
You know, it's okay. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you haven't had a lot to get excited about over the last 5 years, so I'll just let it slide there, buddy. Mr. Probably on track for 7 Super Bowl rings over there, Mr. Patrick Mahomes fan. So, all right, my teaser leg for this week. If CJ Stroud plays, I will happily tease the Houston Texans to basically just beat the worst team I've seen in the NFL post-pandemic in the Tennessee Titans. I don't know if CJ Stroud's playing or not, though, so we'll see about that. I'll caveat it. If it's not that, I will tease up the Seattle Seahawks in this game because this is the first game I handicapped this week because I was so excited for it. I actually think these are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now in the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. And every which way I handicapped it, they are so incredibly evenly matched. And part of that might be some schedule. That's maybe the way you can shoot a hole into Seattle. But there's also a potential weakness with the Rams in terms of their passing defense and being closer to league average in terms of drop back success rate. So maybe Seattle can move the ball just fine. Regardless, I can't see how either of these teams should be a 3-point favorite, regardless of home field. So I think it's a good spot to tease them up. I like Seattle here with a really good defense. Keep an eye on the injury report. Make sure they're not too banged up on defense. But as we record here on Tuesday, you can get Seattle at +8.5. I would not tease this if it closes 3. I would just bet the Seahawks straight up at +3. But if it closes 2.5, then I think this is a fantastic teaser leg here to pair with Jason's Detroit Lions.
That sounds great. Now I'm going to put you on the spot real quick as we close the show. You mentioned Houston. You mentioned that Tennessee line. Are you waiting to see if you can grab it before the line jumps if we get positive news? Because I could see it getting to over 8.5, right? You could see it doing that if Stroud's in. Or are you comfortable grabbing it in case it is? Are you comfortable holding -1 if it is Mills? Or do you not want to wait? Or do you just want to wait?
No, I want to wait. I want to wait. I don't want to get, first of all, I don't want to get stuck with teasing Davis Mills down to 1 when it might close like 4 if Davis Mills starts, and now I got no teaser value. That's the first thing. So I don't want to. I do want to wait because this line is already shaded pretty much, I would say 80% of the way to CJ Stroud, and if you set up like a Twitter notification for a lot of the aggregate apps that are sharing news about practice reports and whatnot. Look out for the CJ Stroud one. If he practices on Thursday, then there's a good chance he's going to play. This line's not going to move until he's fully cleared in the concussion protocol. It might move a little bit, but it's not going to move out of teaser range until CJ Stroud is cleared to play. So there will be time for us, even if you miss the best of the number and you can still tease down at 8.5, I think that's fine. So good question, Jason. Glad you brought it up. Market dynamics are very important in all this. And it's actually a lot easier than some people think if you just set up news notifications to see what's coming. It just moves on these insider reports a lot more often than people think. So set up those notifications for a situation like this for sure. All right. Hope it was helpful for everybody. This was our NFL Week 11 pick show. If you liked it, if you found it helpful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know down in the comments who your favorite picks are for this week, both straight up and against the spread. For Jason Lisk, I'm Stephen Andress. Best of luck with your pick'em pools in NFL Week 11.